I'm excited to go to the dollar store and get some like dinosaur stickers. I hope they have cat ones. Where am I gonna get beta readers? I don't know. I don't have any writing friends, so we're gonna figure it out. Here it is. Please be very brutally honest with me, but also please don't rip out my heart and stomp on my baby, you know? If the day comes where I can't do this anymore, at least I can say that I gave it my heart and soul to become an author. This is the first time I'm ever saying that out loud, but I have written fan fiction before. I'm not afraid to say that I write fan fiction, okay? I don't mean to sound all like woo-woo, but this shit works. Sitting at a desk all day is not good for you. Newsflash, who would have thought? Hello friends, my name is Brooke, like the river. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. I'm so happy you're here today because guess what time it is? It is time to review our Q2 writing goals. We made it. Starting right off, I have some chamomile citrus tea with orange blossom honey in it. I am so excited to try this. I think it's gonna be delicious. I have my laptop here with my Notion template pulled up, filled out, which by the way, if you want this template, it's gonna be in the description below. It's a little different from the Q1 template I made, just a few added things. So if you wanna check it out, it's down there. I thought I would switch up the background a little bit. Normally I do things in my office, but I thought it'd be fun to do it in the living room. Please ignore the glare from our windows on my glasses. I needed the natural light, okay? If you are doing this alongside me, please pull up your last quarter goals or even the goals that you made at the beginning of this year, because it is the halfway point of the year, so we can review them together, okay? So the goals that I made at the end of Q1, beginning of Q2 were the following. Spend 10 minutes a day working on Project Lydia, which is now titled Project Lark, not Lydia. So just for clarification, Project Lark is my urban fantasy romance novel that I am currently working on draft 3 of. Yeah, I know, I just started draft 3. I'm so excited. The vlog should be up by this point. Actually, it might not be. You'll have to wait. I don't know yet. So Project Lark is the first book in a series of standalones all set within the 5 boroughs of New York. There's gonna be 5 books in the series. This is the first one set in Brooklyn. And so far I am having so much fun writing it, but my goal was to spend 10 minutes a day working on it. Did I do that? Yeah, pretty much. Almost every day I would say I worked on this project back when it was labeled Project Lydia, obviously. For me, 10 minutes a day was actually really easy to do. So that worked out for me. I can check off that goal. My second goal was to set weekly scene/chapter goals, which I easily did this. It's kind of connected to my third goal, which was review my progress weekly every Sunday. So every day that I would write a daily sheet, which is basically like a little journal entry of what I worked on or any kind of hurdles that I came into. And this has been really helpful for me. So the end of every Sunday, I would go back through the following week's daily sheets and I'd read through them and kind of pick out the highs, the lows, everything that I accomplished, including the word count. I would only count the word count weekly, not daily, because that would give me anxiety. And then I would be able to review it all and then make new goals, new scene or chapter goals for the following week. So those two were kind of the same, but I was able to do both. I would say like consistently the last 3 months, I have been writing these little daily sheets and it is so helpful. They feel like mini journal entries and I'm able to look back and actually see how much progress I've made, especially on certain days. Like I would be thinking, oh, I finished this chapter like 2 weeks ago and I haven't completed anything since. And then I look back and I'm like, actually I finished this chapter like 4 days ago. I would just forget, honestly. I would forget when I did things. So this way I have these little journal entries and it was so helpful. I highly recommend doing this. So every Sunday I would review them. I did both of these pretty regularly and I would set little scene or chapter goals being like finish chapter 1 and 2 or finish the last scene in chapter 6 and then maybe finish chapter 7 too. So I would have these little like milestones and I'd be able to track it that way. Super helpful. I did both of those. I accomplished both of those goals. Oh my gosh. So my goals in quarter 2 were the following. Spend 10 minutes a day working on Project Lydia, which is now technically Project Lark. Set weekly scene chapter goals. Review progress weekly every Sunday, and set small milestones and reward accordingly. So that was the 4 main goals that I had. I also had a little subsection of things I wanted to try. So I wanted to consume media similar to the project that I'm working on, which would be like urban fantasy romance. I also wanted to try meditating for 5 minutes before writing. I wanted to set myself time in the morning to work on my project without like strain on my day-to-day. I wanted to get back to an actual bedtime because my sleep schedule was so messed up. And I also wanted to read an article on writing once a day and maybe share it. I wasn't too sure about that. I like to separate the goals that I had set into 3 different categories. Goals that worked, goals that didn't work, and then ones that I didn't even really give a chance. So the goals that did work were spend 10 minutes a day working on Project Lydia, Lark now. I was easily able to do that, whether it was literally like 10 minutes before bed on my phone, scrolling through it, typing some things, writing down some notes, doing some world building, just like anything like that I counted. Setting the weekly scene/chapter goals also really worked alongside the reviewing my progress every Sunday. Those 2 kind of went hand in hand actually. I have never seen more progress than when I did it this way. It's working for me. I am so happy I found some way to track my progress, set myself like mini goals and actually be excited about them and not anxious. If you're looking for a way and you've tried a lot of the typical ones, try writing little journal entries and then go back and review them and set yourself new weekly goals. It works for me, so maybe it works for someone else too. Now, in the what didn't work category, I actually don't have anything. I know, shocker. In the what I didn't give a chance category though, however, is the setting small milestones and rewarding accordingly. I didn't really set these milestones like I wanted to. I wanted these ones to be like, if I write 10,000 words, I get something. Or if I finish half of the draft, then I get a reward if I make it to the midpoint. Something like that. And I didn't really do that. I didn't even really try. I was just focusing on just like getting to the next thing. For me in elementary school, we used to have little charts on the corner of our desks. And every time we did something good, we would get a little star. And when you would fill out so many stars, you would get a prize, right? And I kind of want to make the adult version of that. So maybe it could be chapters finishing, like every 5th chapter I get something. I don't know. So the next category that I want to talk about is the wins and the lessons. Things that I've learned in the last 3 months. So some wins to celebrate. The biggest one I feel like was I finally listened to my heart / like my gut more. When I started feeling a certain way, I would actually listen to it and not just like mute the noise. And this really came in handy because another win was that I did hit 30,000 words on draft 2 of my project, but then I listened to my gut and realized I need to revise this. I need to stop working on draft 2 and step back and revise it. So another win to celebrate is I completed a complete overhaul of my book's outline, which was something it desperately needed. Now that I have finished it, which is another win to celebrate. Now that I've finished that, I can see how much better it is. When I try and think about draft 2, I almost can't think about how it looked in my mind because I have worked on this new version, this new outline for the last month, I would say, all of June basically. That it's so much more of a story now. So that was the best thing that I could have done. And then also, I got out of my comfort zone a lot while working on that little revision. I actually had the best ideas when I pushed myself to sit with the problems. Normally, I would just push them off to the side if I didn't come to a solution right away. I actually allowed myself to sit in that uncomfortableness. And if you remember at the beginning of this year, my 2026 goals, I wanted to do things like this. I wanted to push myself to be in that uncomfortable position to get through this, because that's how you get over the hardest of hurdles, right? And I would come across so many problems, so many plot holes, just things that I wasn't sure about, didn't know where I was going. And I forced myself to just sit there and be like, we are going to figure this out over the next few hours, over the next few days. This is going to be a problem that we fix. And once I switched my mindset to that, it really, really helped. The more that I problem solved these things, it got easier for me to come up with solutions because I was able to just like mute the doubt and like the imposter syndrome of like, I don't know what I'm doing, I can't make any decisions, to just like, this is a problem, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna figure it out. And I know I can do this because all the problems before I have already figured out. I proved to myself I could do it. And it felt so good. That was such a nice win. I really feel like the last 3 months have just been me listening to my gut. And it's so good. It's been so nice. Because another big thing that I did switch in Project Lydia was that I changed the main character. I came to the realization that my main character, Lydia, is not actually the main character. So it's a romance, so there's 2 POVs, 2 like main characters. And I realized that Lydia is not the main character, but Alaric is. So hence the project change name of Project Lydia to Project Lark. And that was the best thing I ever could have done. So some lessons that I learned from. Basically, these are like hurdles that I hit over the last quarter. You want to be honest with yourself about the things that aren't serving you anymore. So for me, I put, it's okay to stop and step back from a draft if it isn't working. Listen to your gut, okay? I've already said this. I had the huge realization. It was terrifying. It was so scary. But when I did it, I felt 1,000 times better. And after I had this realization, I actually posted about it on Substack. And I wrote, sometimes taking one step back leads you on the right path so that you can take many, many more steps forward. So that is how I felt after that. Another lesson I learned was that self-doubt is always going to be a hurdle that I hit. And that at this point, I just have to accept it. It's always gonna be around. No matter how much I make it in the writer-author world, it's always gonna be there. I have heard of big-time authors still doubting the books that they put out today. Even if they've already written 30 or 60 books, they still have that doubt. So I'm just going to accept the fact that it is always going to be there. And the fact that it doesn't mean anything. Just because my brain is having these thoughts doesn't make them true. If I have doubts, it shouldn't take away from what I actually am. I write every single day. I am a writer. I have earned that title, okay? And I want to be an author. And to make my way to becoming an author, I need to accept that this doubt is always going to be there. And I'm always going to wonder whether I'm actually able to do this, or even when I do it, I'll question whether I've even earned it. So, which kind of leads into the third lesson I learned, which is don't look into it as much when you have a bad day. It's not that big of a deal. Honestly, every writer has bad writing days, and I used to hate when I had bad writing days. I wanted to be at 100% of my game every single day. And this last quarter, I was sick a lot. So there was a lot of like days, even weeks, where I just couldn't get anything done. It was so hard not to be hard on myself about it, but I didn't have a choice. You know, like it's one of those things you just have to accept. That's just the way life is. I'm not going to be able to be at 100% every single day writing the best words ever. Out of the last 3 months, I would say I probably had like 7 to 10 days that were like amazing. They were days where like I accomplished so much. I wrote thousands of words. I made so much progress on the story. But you know what? There was probably as many equal bad days to the outstanding days. So if I had 7 to 10 outstanding days, I probably had about 7 to 10 really, really bad days. So the rest of those days, those were like medium days. You know, like I was able to do just enough, nothing too crazy, but I was happy with the work at the end of the day. And just because I have a bad day doesn't make me a bad writer. So these goals, are we going to recommit to them, or are we going to pivot? What goals will we keep, change, or end? Either you recommit to the previous quarter's goals, pivot and change them, or drop them altogether. And it's your choice, so just be honest with yourself. I'm gonna say right off the bat, I'm pretty much keeping all of my goals from the last quarter, just altering them slightly. My first goal for quarter 3 is going to be spend minimum 10 minutes every day working on draft 3 of Project Lark. I think this is an easily attainable goal. I have proven to myself that I can do it before. And even if I miss a day, again, it's not the end of the world. Summer is coming up. I'm expecting it to be busy. I have to kind of work with what I got. My second goal kind of merges those first two from my last quarter's goals, which is review draft 3 progress and set new scene/chapter goals every Sunday. I look forward to Sunday nights because that means I get to sit down for literally 10-15 minutes maybe, and I get to go over what I worked on, and I get to see the progress. I get to see where maybe I could have done more or I should have done less and I burnt myself out. It is so nice to be able to map that back and then see the final weekly word count goal and know if I should be pushing harder or, like I said, taking a step back. And then I can set new goals for the next week. And honestly, like when I wake up Monday morning and I know like, okay, my goal is to finish chapter 6 and 7. Maybe I could do them both this week. It gets me excited. Like I'm excited Monday morning to sit at my desk before work and work on my stuff as much as I can just to achieve those little goals. I don't know. I will say when I did do like those little chapter goals, I would reward myself and take myself to like a coffee shop or something. I've been doing that more recently and like I'm not even mad about it. Before I wouldn't really do it because I wanted to save money because, you know, in this economy, who could afford to go to a coffee shop every single day? But now I'm allowing myself the time and the money. If I'm gonna go, I'm gonna work hard to get there, and then I'm gonna go get an iced matcha latte, sit down, and then work really hard for 2-3 hours. It's worth it. It's worth rewarding yourself. And getting outside, I noticed, has really helped me when I am struggling on something. I will go to a coffee shop, sit down, write. It forces me to focus of being like, hey, I spent money on this latte. I gotta work while I'm here to make it worth it. Speaking of rewards, my third goal is to set long-term milestone goals and rewards for working on draft 3. I think I'm literally going to do a little sticker sheet. I'm not even kidding you. I'm going to put up a sheet by my desk, make little boxes, and every time I complete something, I think I'm just going to give myself a sticker. And you know what? Maybe I'm even going to give myself a sticker if I just feel like I've earned one. And maybe I didn't finish a chapter, but I tried really hard and pushed through something really difficult. Yeah, I'm going to give myself a sticker. Why not? I'm excited to go to the dollar store and get some like dinosaur stickers. I hope they have cat ones, but I'm going to make this little chart and I'm going to put it next to my desk, and when I fill out so many stickers, so many stars or cats, I don't know, we'll find out, then I get a big reward. And that's not just like going to a coffee shop and getting a drink and working. That means like an external reward. My big reward that I gave myself when I spent a whole month practically revising the outline for Project Lark, I was able to buy some stuff off of Amazon, but only on the Prime days because that's when things are cheap. I bought a little wooden tray for my bathroom. I bought a new shower mat for the bathtub. You're actually sitting on one of the other things that I rewarded myself, which was a new tripod. I finally have a new tripod because my old one broke and it was so wobbly and I couldn't put it up. This one is so stable. I am so happy with it. It's also taller, so it's gonna be nice when I'm working at my desk. And then I also bought myself a little reading light. So those 4 things were like little rewards for spending that whole month doing it, which was so much work. It took so much energy. And now I get to decorate my bathroom at the beginning of the year. These are the rewards that I wanted to have. And now I'm doing it. I'm actually doing it. And I'm so happy. Now we are adding one more goal to this. So we're gonna have 4. And it is to finish 75% of Lark by the end of September, so the end of this quarter. I do not like having word count goals. Those give me too much anxiety. If I'm writing on Scrivener, I will turn off the little tracker thing. Like, I don't want to know that. But I was thinking, since I've been working on my timeline for how I want to write these books, the following series, whatnot. So I'm trying to plan things out, okay? I would ideally like to have the entire draft 3 of Project Lark finished by the end of October in order to be completely free for the month of November, which is National Novel Writing Month. I would like to actually, I think, write a 0 draft of the second book in this series. So November would probably be the 0 draft. And then December, I'm probably gonna take a break or maybe like continue working on that 0 draft if I don't finish it, because December is just such a busy month. I would also like to be able to send my draft to beta readers, possibly. I don't know. Where am I gonna get beta readers? I don't know. I don't have any writing friends, so we're gonna figure it out. But I was hoping maybe December I could send draft 3 to other actual people and have them read it and give me feedback, which is so terrifying. But I want to get out of my comfort zone this year, okay? So, And then I would love to have it for January where I can start working on the revisions basically that I'm going to implement for the next draft of Project Lark. And maybe that'll be the last draft. I'm hoping it would be the last draft, but it might not be. I don't know. My hopeful plan is to have Project Lark be finished by the end of next year, like ready to publish, finished. I don't know, that's scary. I want to be an author so bad. I want to publish a freaking book. So I would like to be able to do that next year. So that's my hopeful timeline, and that's why I would ideally like to have 75% of draft 3 finished by the end of this quarter. That would be about 25% each month. So I think I can do that. Plus, it's technically not even July yet, and I have started on draft 3. I got like a week and a half early, so hopefully I can get to 75%. I don't know. And then the last section, which is kind of the funnest section actually. I know we just made our big goals, but I think this section is also very important, which is the things to try / bucket list. Basically writing down some things that aren't necessarily goals, but they're things or like techniques that you'd like to try. So these are like a way that you can do like a test run for writing habits or just expanding your writing craft. These could definitely be like, watch Brandon Sanderson's lecture videos, maybe take an actual writing class. That would be crazy. You could do it though. But here's where those things are. They're just like little things you would like to do, basically. Going kind of back earlier where I said I wanted to read things that were similar to my work in progress. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really read anything at all this last quarter, which is probably bad because as a writer, I feel like you should be also reading, and I haven't been doing that. So I have 2 books on my bucket list. So I would like to read Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I heard that it's kind of like an urban fantasy. I don't think there's any romance, but it's an urban fantasy, and I read the description and it sounded really cool. And I really like the book cover. I have been maybe doing some concept art for book covers. I'm getting ahead of myself, I know, but it's so much fun to try and figure out what I would want the book covers for each book in the series to be. And her book cover for that is amazing. And the second book that I would like to read is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I think I'm saying that right, I don't know. But it is a book actually set in New York, and it has to do with all the 5 different boroughs. It follows 5 people, and each of those 5 people are like each of the boroughs reincarnated into human form. And that sounds really interesting to me, and I read literally the first page of the sample on Kindle Unlimited, and it made me laugh. So I was like, okay, maybe I should read this book. Because that one at least has something to do with New York. Again, I don't know if there's any romance. I want to read it anyways. Another thing that I would like to do is to share any chapter of Project Lark with 2 people. I was gonna make it 1, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna get myself out of it by sharing it with my partner and being like, that counts, right? I shared it with someone else. No, it doesn't count. So I made it 2 people. Those 2 people are probably gonna be my best friend and my partner. So it still counts. I'm still sharing things, okay? I'll be honest, I've actually never shared, I think, any of my writing with anybody. I've been writing for like 5 years, I think, and I've never shared any part of it with anyone. Again, it's important to step out of your comfort zone, so I would like to do that as I'm writing this draft even. I'm not even gonna wait until I'm done. No, I want to share at least 1 chapter with 2 people. And it's probably going to be the first chapter, which is fine. I think that's fine. It's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard though, like printing that off and giving it to 2 people and being like, here it is. Please be very brutally honest with me, but also please don't rip out my heart and stomp on my baby, you know? This quarter, I feel like I have actually leveled up quite a bit. as a writer, and I want to keep leveling up. And to do that, you need experience. And to do that, you need to get outside of your comfort zone. You need to do things like in a video game. You need to go talk to people. You need to put in the time and grind. I might just be talking about Minecraft, but you know what I mean. I feel like this is a big way that I can get that experience and level up, so that I can continue being a better writer. I just gotta work with what I have. You know, I have a dream and I have the courage to pursue that dream, to try, and I have the willpower to not give up. I have not given up yet, and every single time I choose not to give up, it reinforces my desire to just keep going and to not ever give up. I want to do this. So I feel like I have the drive, I have the will, I'm going to try. That's the best thing you can do though. Like, you can just try to make your dreams come true. I'm gonna give it everything that I can, so that if the day comes where I can't do this anymore, at least I can say that I gave it everything. I gave it my heart and soul to become an author. Speaking of leveling up and wanting to be a better writer and also sharing our work with others, I want to write and post 3 one-shots on AO3. So I'm a person who believes that fan fiction can actually be an amazing writing tool. You are working with these worlds that already exist and characters that you know, and you are kind of analyzing them, deconstructing them, and writing your own version of that story or a completely different story in that setting. And I think it can really help you highlight the things that are important with making characters, with making a world, especially a magic system. I think exploring that actually is such a good learning tool. I think it can teach you so much. This is the first time I'm ever saying it out loud, but I have written fan fiction before and I have learned a lot from it. If I'm being honest, I think when a lot of people hear the word fan fiction, they think of like smut. Basically, I'm just gonna be honest, they think of smut. All of the best fan fictions that I have ever read on the AO3 platform have had nothing to do with romance. Like nothing. And they have been the best stories that I have ever read. So basically one-shots are just like short story word count, like 2,000 to 10,000 roughly. I would like to write 3 of these and I would like to post them, because you can actually get some pretty good feedback and critique by sharing your work like that. So I've never shared anything that I've written like that, but I would like to. I'm gonna do it. I'm not afraid to say that I write fan fiction, okay? Speaking of writing things and sharing them as well, I would like to write 2 articles for my Substack. I've been wanting to like really build up a Substack and just write little articles about helpful things and just, I don't know, just share my writing, but in a different form, where I'm not writing a book, but I'm writing more like article things and advice and information. I was hoping to actually write 2 articles every month for Substack. I don't know how well I'm going to do that. So I would at least like to write 2 articles through this whole quarter at minimum, okay? I have started writing Substack articles, but I have never finished any. So I actually have a few in the drafts that I can pull out and work on them. So I really have no excuse other than just I don't want to share my stuff. And also because it is under my name still. Again, I've never shared my writing with anyone. Even if it's not a book, it's still like my writing, the way that I think about things. But really it's no different than a YouTube channel, if you think about it. The second last thing on my bucket list is to finish my short story. I did a video on starting writing a short story, and then I haven't been able to work on it. I've just been prioritizing Project Lark, which is fine, but I would actually like to finish that short story and continue that little mini series. It's probably only going to be like 2-3 videos, but I've never written like a short story like that and published it. So that's another thing. I would like to put that short story on my Substack for people to read, so that whenever I tell someone I'm a writer and they're like, can I read something that you've written? I actually have like a link to send them to be like, yeah, go read my short story. And then the last thing on my writing bucket list is to meet with writing group twice this whole quarter. So a little story time. So I put a post on my local city's Facebook group asking if there were any writing groups in my city's area. We are considered a city, but we're not that big. And I have Googled, I have researched on if there was any groups in my area, and the only ones were like in the bigger cities that are like hours away. So not gonna happen. So I put it in my local Facebook group. I got so many comments of people being like, no, I've never heard of anything, but like I would love to join one. I would love to start a writing group. So now I accidentally started a huge writing group. Another girl made a little Facebook event page and everybody responded to that. So far, last time I checked, there are 16 people going. I don't know if they're actually all going to show up, but that is a lot more. I was hoping to find like maybe 1, maybe 2 people, but now I think there's 16 people coming to our writing group. So I don't know how that happened. I don't know. But we're going to have our first meetup this Sunday in a few days. I am so nervous, but I'm excited to meet other writers. And if this is something that we can actually keep up, I might want to do like writing sprints and actually meet up like once every so often. I think that would be really fun. I would like to try and do that twice this quarter, minimum. Okay, minimum. That's if this works out, if this meet and greet works out. Wow, I really didn't realize how much I have been pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I'm going to a writing group meetup. That is crazy. It's funny how you make these goals and you put them out into the world and they do just actually kind of happen sometimes. Like putting out those intentions actually brings the opportunities. But so far, like I'm pretty happy with what I have accomplished in these 6 months of this year. And like, I don't mean to sound all like woo-woo, but this shit works, okay? Like, I have been looking for a way to make the things that I want to happen for so long. And now I have found that way. And it feels like things are finally working. They're finally coming together. Guys, you need to listen to this, okay? All of this started happening when I gave up social media. I shit you not. I have never seen more progress with my life goals, with my writing goals, my relationship goals. Like everything in my life has never been more progressive since I gave up social media on my phone. I still have only Facebook on my computer. I have probably logged into it, I would say, 10 times this whole year. I have had friends literally ask me if I was medicated because my anxiety and depression and all that stuff has gotten so much better. It has lessened so much. They literally notice a change in how I have been in the last, I would say, year since I gave up social media. It took a long time after I gave up social media to almost like rebalance. But once I did, after that, it's never been better. Like, whenever I tell someone that my anxiety has gone down and that I have less bad days and I'm more happy with my day-to-day life and I'm doing the things that I love and spending time with the people that I love, they always ask me, how did you do it? How did you get there? And there are 2 things that I tell them. I say, I journal nearly every single day before bed, and I gave up social media. It's that simple. I know I used to watch hours of videos on YouTube being like, how to get my life together, how to make my dreams come true. It's that simple, girl. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's that simple, okay? I gave up social media. I gave up the distractions, the comparison. I was able to focus my time on the things that really matter to me and also understand the things that really matter to me. I have never been more clear about the direction that I want to go in life, right now at least. There's still a lot of things I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm still having anxiety, but I am able to live my practical day-to-day life just the way I am, and I'm happy with it. There are times now where I genuinely cannot comprehend how I lived my life every single day like that, in a constant state of fight or flight. I genuinely do not know how I did it. And it's scary to think that I was at a place like that. And now I'm losing track of the days, but in a good way. Time is slowing down for me. Every day I wake up, I'm genuinely so excited to work on my book, to see my dogs, to hang out with my partner, to go outside and see something amazing and beautiful, it has genuinely changed my life. Genuinely. Get rid of social media. You don't have to delete your accounts, but get rid of it on your phone, especially. Now I have replaced social media with old people things. If I'm being honest, I look at the weather. I read articles on Substack. I will open my Notion app first in the morning to just write down any notes that I have, or to catch myself up on what I want to work on today. Or I even read over my draft of a scene that I worked on last night just to like read it again and see how good it was, you know? Like, these are the things that I do in the mornings. It sets my day up so nicely. And yeah, I still binge stuff. I have spent a lot of time on AO3 reading things, but the point is I'm reading stories and I am learning from them. I'm reading comments. I'm learning what people think. I'll still like play a video game all day when I know I should be working. Like, I still have these things, but it's quality over quantity. This is one of like the first quarters where I have been able to actually accomplish the goals that I set when I review them. I'm able to actually tick off things, and it feels so good. If you're wondering, I did do a lot of other goals, which are my personal goals in my little notebook here. Some of my personal goals are just to read more books, finish my house projects, hang with my best friend, because sometimes we both get so busy and then we don't ever see each other for like a month. I want to attend a fighting class, okay? I have been wanting to attend a fighting class for months, and you know what? I'm gonna make it happen. I was able to do other things. I want to do a fighting class, okay? I want to learn more basic signs and sign language. I've started learning and I've really enjoyed it. I'm also learning German because I can. It's very slow, but I'm having fun. I want to use my guitar more, so I would like to spend time learning that. Even if it's one Hoser song, I want to learn how to play it. And I also want to create a yoga and meditation habit, because this last month I have had so many health problems that could not be fixed with yoga, but probably helped at least. Sitting at a desk all day is not good for you. Newsflash, who would have thought? So yoga, I would like to do more yoga, and meditation for the brain. Meditation's kind of like yoga for the brain. So I don't know. So that is my Q2 review and my Q3 goals, along with my TED Talk about quitting social media. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I really appreciate it. Again, feel free to use the Notion template down in the description. It's free to use. You just download it. I have little instructions there. Let me know if there's anything I should add to it. Give me some feedback. I love feedback. And fill it out, even if it's not with your Q2 goals, because maybe you didn't set Q2 goals, but look back at the beginning of the year. I'm sure you probably were like, hey, I wanted to do this. Or I wanted to also do this. So now you can review that. You're halfway through the year. Let's see where you're at. And it's okay if you're a little far behind. I'm a little far behind than I wanted to be, but I'm still making progress. That's the only important thing, is that we're gonna try, okay? Great. I think that is everything that I wanted to share with you guys. I am so excited for the next 3 months. I think we're gonna do some really great things, along with maybe a few writing streams. Yes, on this channel. I would like to get into writing streams. If you have any questions or feedback about that, please let me know if you would like that. What time, what days should I do it? I don't know, but I would like to be able to chat with you guys live and get some writing sprints in and make some friends. If you like this video, please like it and maybe subscribe too. My goal is to get to, my goal this quarter is to get to 700 subscribers. And I think we're like already halfway there and July hasn't even started. So, but I would like to reach 700 subscribers. That would be cool. So if you like this video, please like, maybe consider subscribing, and give me your fanfic recommendations down below, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!